Here we are, my profane friends, Inverness. Oh, it's so exciting. Oh, yep, sorry. Hey. But look at this, look. The residential house, okay? And what do you see, my profane friends? Nothing Masonic there, I'm sure. You see the four circles, look? You see? And obviously you got the square and the calm piss with the circle in it, look, you see? So because it represents the all-seeing eye. But that's what it is, that's what runs that, you know. Look at the gate entrance, see the pyramid, look? See? So when you go into the old people's home, if you're a perjured individual, they will, you know, leave you soiled in your own mess and all of that, and they get away with shit like that. You know what I mean? You know. Look at this. Yeah, hello. There's another classic. Look. You tell me, what is this place? I don't know what it is. Hopefully we'll see. But you see the world domination balls. Look. You see all across there. Look. See. And then look at the door. Do you understand the symbolism? I mean, we're in Rome, aren't we? When in Rome, in any town or city. Look at the keystone. You see the keystone, look? Well, it has the Masonic ball domination with the cross upside down. See, and obviously these keystones here, look, have a little circle above them, below them. See? It's all Masonic, my profane friends. They own every town, every city. You own nothing. You know what I mean? Do you know where the square is, kind lady, in the Masonic square? Do you know where it is?
No.
Oh, the lodge?
No.
Oh, you're not on the square now?
No.
Oh, you're the best of the best then, I love you.
Sorry.
Oh, that's alright, sugar puff.
Inverness is there.
Yeah,
town,
yeah. I didn't know. Do you know what Freakmason is, do you? You ever heard of one? No. No?
No.
Oh, right. You're the best then, I love you. But that, there, look, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, okay? So with all these Masonic world domination balls, with the pyramid, and the funny little symbolism underneath in their keystones, who do you think's running the pulpit of this church? Do you see what I mean? You know, who do you think? Huh? Freakmasonry. No, even the house over there, look. Can you see the symbolism, look? I can't get any closer. But can you see that I don't know if you can see it, look, but it's a swastika. Can you see it? I don't know if you can see it properly from here. But apart from it being a swastika, yeah, it's 3 times, look, at the front, you see? See? And then on each side it's 2 sides. I don't think you can see it, but you see the pyramids, look? In the windows, look, you see the pyramids? And each window is 9, look, 999, which means basically 666, you see? What do you think them pyramids are to keep the rain off? No, they're Masonic houses owned by the elite, because they get waterfronts, you know, they get the waterfront, you know, the best places in the world to live, don't they? That's why they own it all. Or do you think some profane person that works in a factory owns a house or a riverfront house like that? Of course they don't. It's all Masonic, my profane friends. Look at the windows. Do you see the windows? Look at the bottom window. What do you see on the bottom window that face us? 2, and then 3, then 2. What is 2, 3, 2? A Masonic cube. Do you see what I'm saying? Oh, I'm so excited to show you the symbolism of the Freakmasons. But that's what it is. They own it all. We own nothing. You know, it doesn't matter where you go. The square and calm piss is there, hidden in plain right. I mean, how big is that square and calm piss? You know, do you think someone who's working in a shop or a factory own all this land here? Of course not, you know? You know what I mean? They own it. They always will. You know, it's the best places to live. They own it. They've got all the money. They've willed it down by nepotism. You know, a group of lords, say 10 lords with £10,000. Look at how much money they've got, and that's what they do. You know, they've done it all anyway. It's all been invested over the years and the centuries and the decades, and the stories they tell us are lies. You know, all the heroes that they throw at us are the ones they've made, and they're the ones that kill them off as well anyway, you know. And whether they're going to be popular or not is deemed fit by them. I mean, look at where is it over there, the house, look. You see the house, look? See the Masonic marking within the pyramid, look? See? Power. You know what I mean? But people don't understand it, and if you don't, you know, because people don't understand it or know that it's actually like, you know, you start sticking swastikas up everywhere and all of that malarkey, then people would see it. But they don't do that. They hide it in plain right. They're little ranking systems, and we don't know nothing about it, you know. Again, we've got another church here, Masonically run. I'm hoping that they get in a church up here. Hopefully I'll be able to get in and show you. But again, here's the church, which is the RNI Community Hospital, okay? Children's vaccination clinic. Basically, you kill the kids, as usual. But the point is, this is the church. I can't show you this cross on the top because I can't think. But come on, hurry up. And you can sling your up, you laughing. Right, oh, yeah, come on, you're right, mate. I blame the English, you know what I mean? They're more than likely foreign, can't you understand what I'm saying? But they're laughing. Oh, they are, they're laughing. But here, look, you see the 2 windows? 3 windows, 2 windows. Why is it 2, 3, 2? Because it makes a Masonic cube of 6. You see what I mean? Obviously, you've got your big pyramid. Never forget the Masonic pyramid of Egypt. But that's what that is, look. 2, 3, 2. You know, and it's built into everything. You know what I mean? They built it, they created it, and that church right there at the Children's Vaccination Centre where they kill them, you know, that's you know, they control the pulpits. You know what I mean? And they, whatever they say, people are listening to it. You know, and the people who are up on them pulpits are trusted implicitly with everything. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's cool. I like that. That's wow. How fast you get on that then?
14 miles an hour.
Wow. Well, watch you don't run me over, I'll give you a ticket, mate. You know what I mean? Have a good day, yeah? You're welcome. Have a nice day. So, where was I? Yeah, so, you know, this is what I'm saying. It doesn't matter where you go to a hospital, you're dealing with Freakmasons. You go to the police station, you're dealing with Freakmasons. Now, if you've got a complaint and it's against a Freakmason, they're going to shut you down. They're going to shush it up, you know, and that's it. You know? And everyone in the courtroom, if you're the profane person, the prosecutor, your defender, the judge, everybody is against you. Do you know what I mean? You're not standing there. They're going to do everything in their power to diminish the charges against that Freakmason. You see what I mean? Now I'm just walking look, see the world domination ball, the top there, look? It tells me it stands on the Masonic cube of the perfect ashlar. So I know it's a Freakmason thing. Look, this is... Look, see the circle within the pyramid, look, you see? And obviously the clock face, remember, is an X, yeah, because of the main points. That's 4 pyramids, you see, which makes 666. You've got the keystone, look, the Masonic arch, Jackin and Boaz. And then you've got the keystone with the world domination ball on top, what sits across atop the pyramid, look. See? But no one understands it, and they never will. That's the Porter's Lodge. Because again, they're the, you know, anything like, you know, when a war breaks out, yeah, the men that, like, say, like the lanterns, or, you know, see if there's any lights on in anyone's house, they're the air raid wardens, type things like that. They get all them special jobs, you know what I mean? And that's what they are, because they're in charge of the community all the time. And that's the thing, they took everyone's community, the parish councils and everything else, and they're controlling that. The difference is they're controlling it and by hiding their Masonic aprons. You know what I mean? Because they know, as with everything, like when you, well, like back in the day, say the Romans, yeah, right, they still hid their Masonic aprons behind that Roman uniform. Do you see what I mean? But when everyone attacked the Romans, yeah, that's what they attacked, the Romans. But they didn't know that hiding behind that Roman uniform was a Masonic apron. Do you see what I mean? And when they attack, they go, oh, let's get them, and blah, blah, blah. But they know over time, do you know what I mean, and history, they know that if they revealed themselves, they'd be attacked. Do you know what I mean? Because if everyone knew what the Freakmasons were up to today, they would be getting attacked, and they would, all their wealth and all their assets would be stripped away from them because of the wealth they've gained through doing wars, you know, stealing people's gold, you know, by taking their mine, you know, sending in their criminals and killing, you know, the person who claimed the mine. They kill the person, and he's gone. Who's claiming to the mine? We'll claim that because we're government. You see what I mean? And that's how they've done it over the centuries and decades, and took everything from people. You know. But how, you know, but that's what they're there. They could prove it. You know what I mean? That's all they come out with. Do you see what I mean? Prove it. You know. But you don't need to prove it because it's there, it's fact, it's in history. You know, here again, look, you see, look at the windows, it's power. Look at the pyramids. You know, you think them pyramids are there for? Look at the keystone. Look at the arch. Ooh, nearly arched it. Look at the arch and the keystone, look, in the door. You know, look, see. It's all Masonic symbolism. They own it. They own this building. They own everything. It don't matter what building you look at. They own it. They created it. You know, you've got 12 little domination balls here, look. See them, look? Each world domination ball. Mad, but they'll tell you just to keep people out. Even though it's got a Masonic urn there. You know what I mean? Do you know what sort of urn? Excuse me, kind lady. Do you know what sort of urn that is called? It's a Masonic urn, you see. They use them in Rome.
All right.
Yeah. You didn't know that? No?
No.
Oh. And if you notice, each spike is a top. Can you notice there's a circle? And then there's a point in the circle, there's a little circle, there's a point within the circle which makes a compass, isn't it? You see? So that's a point within the circle, compass, and that's your square and compass.
Oh,
I know. Mad, isn't it?
I know, and this is on the level and the...
Oh yeah, you know. Hey, I love you, baby. You're a sugar puff. But yeah, that's the Masonic urn, look. And then if you notice that, this is the world domination ball, but if you notice there's a point, look. There's a point within each circle, and these are your square and the compass, square and compass, you see? And that's what that is, but it's hidden in plain right, you know? Look at it, you know what I mean? Look it up. It's not, you know, it's not hard, you know? But they don't want you to tell you that. Shh, keep that quiet, you know what I mean? But this church, if it's open, I'll hopefully get in the church, and I'll be able to do, you know, hey, are you on the square, kind lady? Are you on the square? You ever heard of it? Yeah. No, you'll love you. That means you're profane. You ever heard of Freakmasonry?
No.
No, good girl, I like you. And you're laughing as well, I love it, it's the best. But again, look, what do you think this is? Look, this is the Omega sign, look. The Omega, yeah? The Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. You know, what do you think all this is? All of this? That's Nessie House. But again, look, even this thing they've made here, look, it's 3, 1, 2, 3. See what I mean? Whatever that means, don't quote me on that. And you've got a little bull there, look, with the beehive on it, look. See the beehive? You know? I don't know what this is, I haven't got a clue, but, you know. But you can see it's a pyramid, look, you see the pyramid, look. And what it looks from top above, I don't know, I can't climb because I've got sciatica in my arse cheek. But this is Jackin, look, Jackin and Boaz, you see what I mean? And it's always like, again, look, we're back on the 3s, look. See, 3 and 3 for 33 degrees. We are the beginning and we are the end. You know, let's see if I can do this. Oh, actually, I can do this. Wait there. Ooh, put my face right in a cobweb. But that, I don't know if you